Hello students, this is Shweta Roy. This video is for chapter 6 Geography part 2 Hydrosphere Water. In this video we are going to discuss about factors affecting the movement of the ocean water, movements of the ocean water. Then we have case study of tsunami. Then we have some subtopics, tides, ocean currents. Then we have the topic significance of oceans and their movements. So these are some of the topics which we are going to discuss in this video. So here we will start with our first topic, factors affecting the movement of ocean water. As you know, this ocean water is not static. It is always moving. Okay, it always keeps moving. It is not static. And this movement of ocean water is essential for our life also. So, what are the factors which affect the movement of ocean water? So, temperature and salinity. These are two main components which affect the movement of ocean water. So, how temperature affects it? So, because of the sun's energy, the water get heated up. Okay. And the temperature of oceans decreases from the equator to the poles. When you will go towards poles, the temperature will be decreased, right? And also the temperature will decrease with the increasing depth. If it will be deeper, it will be cooler, right? Temperature will decrease. So this is how the temperature affects the ocean water. Okay. When it will be heated by the sun energy, same like the land, but when you go towards pole, towards equator, it will be hotter, and when you will go towards pole, it will be cooler. The same way, if you will go deeper, you will find that temperature is decreasing. Okay. Then you have salinity. Salinity means the amount of salt which is present in water. Now, how much water and how much salt? So, in 1000 gram of water, how much gram of gram of salt is present in 1000 gram of water? Okay, that amount is called salinity. Okay. And we know that salt is present in the ocean water. That means the ocean water is saline in nature. It is saline in nature because it contains a large amount of dissolved minerals. There are a large amount of dissolved minerals which is present in the ocean, which make it saline. What are those minerals? Those minerals are sodium chloride, potassium, magnesium, etc. So these are the minerals which is dissolved in the ocean water, which makes it saline. So the average salinity of ocean water is 35 grams of salt per 1000 grams of water. That means in 1000 gram of water there is 35 gram of salt. And also the salinity in ocean is highly variable. The salinity of water is high in the areas of high evaporation. In the landlocked seas like Dead Sea, the salinity is high. Now here you have some questions to check your progress. Take a world map and show various oceans and sea discussed in the chapter on it. Color the ocean that is named after your country. We have already discussed this in our previous video. So please do this. Second question is, which part of your country is directly in contact with the Indian Ocean? So you do this two questions. We'll move to our next topic, movements of the ocean water. So as we discussed that ocean water is not static, it is always moving. Okay. Also the temperature and salinity is responsible for its constant motion. Okay. Now waves, tides and ocean currents. These are the different kinds of movement of ocean water. So we'll discuss them one by one. So first is wave. Wave means when water on the surface of ocean rises and falls alternatively. They are called waves. And they are caused by winds blowing over the sea. When wind is blowing over the sea, it causes the waves. These are important agent of erosion and deposition in the coastal areas. We have already discussed about erosion and deposition. Also, the size of wave is determined by how far, how fast and how long the wind blows. It all depends upon wind. Okay. If the wind is strong over the long distances, it appears the long waves. Long wave will be appear. It causes the long waves. These waves also has many ripples. Now the highest point a ripple in the water reaches, that is called crest of the wave. And the lowest point is called trough. And distance between this trough and crest, that is called wave height. Understood? The highest point is crest, the lowest point is trough, and the difference between this highest and lowest point, that means trough and crest, that is wave height. The number of ripples in water that a wave passes in 1 second, that is called wave's frequency. You can see these waves near the sea coast also. If you would have gone to any sea coast, you would have seen the waves. And if you will look at that carefully, you will find that each ripple is almost a complete circle. It starts from water and again it takes a circle and it comes to water. Okay. And it is a kind of circular movement. And slow moving winds, they will create medium sized waves, and stormy winds, they will create huge and destructive waves. And these destructive waves, they can cause huge loss of life and property, and they are called tsunami. And tsunami is basically a result of an earthquake under the water, and it is also caused by the stormy winds. Now again we have some questions so that we can check your progress. Question number 1, how is a tsunami caused? Second, how was Indira Point submerged under water? 3, find out how the waves killed people and caused destruction of their property. So these are some of the questions you need to do. Now we have a case study of tsunami, and tsunami are commonly known as tidal waves. Tsunami is actually a Japanese word and it means harbor wave. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Tsunami is actually caused by an earthquake on the ocean floor. Okay, inside the ocean, on the ocean floor, if there is any earthquake, the tsunami is caused. And they are very destructive in shallow water, shallow ocean water, when they strike the coast. And if there is open sea, the tsunami waves are, however, lost in the vast expanse of ocean water. So, if there is shallow ocean water, it is more destructive. It is very destructive. But if there is open sea, it lost in the expanse of ocean water. Devastating tsunami. So on 26th December 2004, there was a earthquake on the ocean floor of the west coast of Sumatra in Indonesia, which caused the tsunami. The magnitude of earthquake was 9.0 on the Richter scale. They had risen from the seabed, displacing huge quantity of water. And the tsunami traveled at the speed of about 800 km per hour. And the radiated outwards, covering a distance of about 1200 km radius. So you can imagine the geographic area covered by these waves. They rose to several meters high near the coast, and the wave touched the coast of East Africa, but they were observed as far away as Mexico, Chile, etc. They also raised the level of seabed and consequently main sea level by about 0.01 centimeter. And in this Indira Point, the southernmost point of India was submerged under the seawater. And the destruction caused by these waves was enormous. Over 3 lakh people were killed in Indonesia, 10,000 in India, and rest in 9 other countries. Property which was worth billions of rupees, that was destroyed, and there was great harm to physical environment of many islands and sea coast, including Andaman and Nicobar Island. So this tsunami caused a huge destruction, enormous destruction. Here you can see some of the pictures of tsunami of 2004. Now here you can see the picture of Indira Point, which was the southernmost point of the India, and before the earthquake of 2004 it was a small island of the Andaman Nicobar, and after the earthquake of 2004 it was submerged in the seawater. So you can see the picture of Indira Point. I hope you all understood all the topics taught in this video. Thank you.